Hello, thank you so much for joining me again. As ever, it's much appreciated. And we are nearly at 200,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. Thank you to each and every one of you. And I want to talk about standards. I hope that my standards on here aren't slipping. I do try my best. And I want to talk about those standards. My mum used to always say to me, it's standards, my dear. If she felt I was letting the side down or doing something that I shouldn't, maybe I put my elbows on the table. No, we don't do that. It's standards, my dear. But she would always say it in a very gentle, whispered way, not threatening at all. When I was doing my teaching qualification, which I did as a wrinkly, sorry, the wind is putting my hair and sticking it on my lippy. We had a science lecturer who had promised us that one of the things we were going to do was pond dipping. So next to the penultimate lecture, 4 of us arrived with waterproofs on, jam jars with string round and fishing nets. He looked at us and he said, "What's going on?" We said, "Well, we're wondering if it's going to be this week." "What?" "The pond dipping." "Oh, off he went. We never did do the pond dipping. But when I took my waterproof off, underneath I'd got on a badge that said, "If all else fails, lower your standards." And he said, "Would you take that off? I find it offensive." So I did. But I find that that is far from offensive. Sometimes we set the bar too high for ourselves and we're trying to get over it. We're Fosbury flopping, we're doing whatever to get over that bar. And sometimes it's just too much for us. We've set our aims too high. So in order to allow us to succeed, it's necessary to lower the standards. Not zooming right down, just bring it down a peg or two so that it makes whatever you're trying to do achievable. Because if it's not achievable, you can be Fosbury flopping till the end of the day. You'll just end up with bruises and bumps and no achievement. So it is okay to lower your standards, but so long as you use a bit of self-talk as well, that I'm not doing this because I'm failing. And I'm one of those people that is a strong believer that failure is a negative word, but it doesn't have to be. To me, failure can be a good way of finding out how not to do something. And that's very good. And it's often a way that inventors have gone on to invent amazing things. They didn't succeed first time. They failed and failed, or learnt and learnt how not to do what they wanted to do until they eventually found the route to doing it. So ask yourself, why am I doing it? Is that okay? And if it's okay for you, and there aren't any other people involved, or if there are, then discuss it with them. So it is perfectly possible. But don't be silly. Don't lower the bar too low so that you're sub limboing level that nobody could limbo under it. Mind you, I couldn't limbo under something up this high, I don't think. Maybe a good few years ago, but not these days. I'd end up flat on my behind. But if you set the bar too low, the only thing that you can be sure of is that you're likely to trip over it. So have a think where you set your bar. And I don't mean your bar that you can lean on with your pint or your glass of wine in your hand. If you happen to have a bar in the garden or somewhere in the house. No. The bar of our aims. Be realistic. Be kind to yourself. But allow yourself to stretch yourself, but not to ridiculously harmful lengths. On that note, I will say thank you so much for joining me. And take care and have a think about where your bars are set. At present, mine's about an acceptable level. I do tend to put it up a bit when I feel, right, I need to stretch myself a bit more. But at present, I'm motoring along and being quite kind to myself. Thank you for joining me. Take care, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.